Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Senior Vice President, Systems Management and Security for Oracle, Prakash Ramamurthy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. So this is nearly 3 years since we went live with Management Cloud. So I thought we would do something different. For the past 4 years, we have come up on stage to tell you good things about what we are building and what our customers are doing. For this time around, we're going to have our customers come up on stage and tell you guys what they're really doing with our services. So we have an interesting panel, which I would introduce shortly. But for people who do not know what Management Cloud is, for the 2 or 3 people in the audience who don't know about it, I want to quickly give a primer, and then I will invite the customers on stage. So when we started building this about 5 years ago, we started off with a very simple premise, which is customers who are on the hook to manage their applications really have 2 or 3 problems that they're concerned about. They want to know before their customers found out what's happening to their applications. They don't want their customers telling them if they're having a downtime. They want to ensure that they have enough headroom to fix these applications before they become an issue. And for the reasons where they couldn't find out, if they have to diagnose it, they want to have all the information that they possibly need in one place. So pretty straightforward, but if you look at it, the tools that are available at that time really were pretty siloed. There were one set of tools that were focused on metrics and monitoring. There were another set of tools that were focused on logs, and you really didn't know how the applications were put together. So when we started building Management Cloud, we said we needed to have one place, one platform, where we would allow our customers to bring in all the data that they possibly need in one place, and we will be applying intelligent algorithms to make sense of it for them and provide them with the right set of information at the right time. So a fairly straightforward premise for the solution that we have built. So as you heard throughout this conference, there's a lot of investment going into machine learning, and Management Cloud is no different. We are spending a lot of time trying to make sure that we sift through this volume of data that we're getting and show our customer insights as opposed to giving them just a slew of information. So that's the premise for it. So we built a platform that can ingest all the data and have algorithms running on top of it to give you the insight that you need. So quickly on the key capabilities, if you look at it, this is the only solution in the marketplace that does everything from unified monitoring. When I talk about unified monitoring, whether the monitoring data comes from logs, the monitoring data comes from end users, actual browsers and mobile apps, or from the application, or from the infrastructure, all of them brought together in one place for us to be able to run algorithms to give you early warning and a heads up if something is going wrong. And from then on, to be able to bring you diagnostics, whether it's logs that you need to diagnose, or if you need to go look at the database SQL performance and so on and so forth, one platform, one place to do diagnostics. So we have the unified monitoring as one pillar. We have deep diagnostics around application performance and logs as a second pillar. And since we're bringing in all the data, we allow for you to be able to do longer-term analytics. So I'll quickly talk about one of the use cases our customers are using today, which is around analytics with Exadata, for example. So I'll talk about that in a minute. And the new set of capabilities that we are launching at this OpenWorld is in conjunction with the autonomous database. So you will see us put out a class of features that allows our customers to lift and shift workloads from their on-premise databases onto the autonomous databases, and to be able to do more application level diagnostics with the autonomous database. So database management is the 4th pillar of our capabilities. And the last one is around security, to be able to understand what the user behavior is. We are collecting a lot of telemetry to help the applications run smoothly, but it's the same set of data you need to use to see if your applications are secure, if there is unauthorized access, if there's anomalous behavior, and so on and so forth. So these are the 5 pillars of management cloud. So there were a lot of sessions that happened throughout this week that have gone into details on each of these, but if you look at it at a nutshell, unified monitoring, deep diagnostics, long-term analytics, special purpose-built database management and database data movement workflows, and security are kind of the 5 pillars of management cloud. So let me tell you quickly what are the top 3 or 4 use cases our customers are using it today. The first one is around running management cloud against Exadata and the Oracle database. We have a nifty integration with Oracle Enterprise Manager. It's almost a one-shot drop-in agent, connect to the Enterprise Manager, so you can collect all the data. We understand all of the topology of the databases and where the logs are kept, all the telemetry that we have. So if customers want to look at the performance of their databases over a longer period of time, how has it deteriorated, what has gotten worse, what has gotten better, and especially when customers have 50, 60, 70 exadatas, they want to know which ones are running hot, which ones have capacity, which ones are going to blow through, and how do you forecast, and all of the stuff. So to be able to do a lot of analytics around Exadata, S-data around the Oracle database is one of the key use cases where they use management cloud against the Enterprise Manager and the database that they have deployed. The next 2 use cases are around our Apps Unlimited. Oracle E-Business Suite is by far one of the most popular solutions against which customers use management cloud. So there are a lot of moving parts if you look at it with E-Business Suite. There's very little visibility into it, but there's a lot of background processing that happens. So customers deploy management cloud against it so they can understand if there are issues with their concurrent manager, if there are issues with the jobs that are backing up, and so on and so forth. So that's another area, and especially today when customers are looking to lift and shift EBS to our cloud infrastructure, what they're trying to do is they deploy management cloud first against their existing e-business suite that's running on-prem before they lift and shift it to the cloud. Similarly, they're doing some of the stuff with PeopleSoft and Siebel as well. These are purpose-built solutions that we have done specifically to make it very, very easy for our customers to get it up and running against these applications. So these are some of the popular use cases that they're using. And what we have also seen is this. These end up being kind of the starting point for using management cloud, but nearly every customer that we talk to has a heterogeneous estate, right? They have more than Oracle, so they expect us to have the same solution that will work against all of their infrastructure. So right from day one, management cloud was meant to support your workload irrespective of where it is running. It could be running on-premise, it could be running in our cloud infrastructure, it could be running on Amazon, Azure, or wherever it is running. So our ability to continue to support this, regardless of where it's running, and regardless of the technology stack you're running. So we have spent a lot of time investing in it. So if you look at it, we have about nearly close to 200 log parsers. So we can parse just about any logs that any application generates, right? And for example, just the sheer amount of work that has gone into to support the various application stacks, whether it's Tomcat or JBoss or Python or PHP. So we have spent a lot of time doing it because we know you want to not only use it for the Oracle estate, but you want to expand it out. So in quick recap, there is special purpose-built solutions for the Oracle environment, but there's also enough investment that we have done to make sure you can use the same solution for your heterogeneous environment. So that's all I wanted to talk about, but I really wanted to get the folks on stage. We have a very, very good panel of customers across the world, across all verticals. So I'll invite Dan Kolaski to please come on board and introduce the customers if you could.
Thank you, Prakash. Hi, everybody. So I get the fun job, which is really just talking to a bunch of new friends and old friends about what they're actually doing with Management Cloud rather than hypothetically what they may be doing. And so over the next 20, 25 minutes or so, we're going to explore some of the use cases that they've been using Management Cloud to achieve in their own enterprises and understand a little bit about what it's meant for them. So for starters, let me just give everybody a chance to introduce themselves. We'll start here with Maria. If you could just tell everybody about yourself and your role at the company and maybe just a little bit about what you're doing with Management Cloud.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So my name's Maria Riley. I'm with Cox Automotive, and I'm the AVP of Software Engineering for our financial platforms. So Cox Automotive, their vision is really transforming the way the world buys, sells, uses, and owns cars. So it's a very overarching business. We have 85, we're the world's largest auto auction. We have 85 auctions in North America and about 19, across 19 countries. But we also have well-known brands that you might know about, Auto Trader, Kelley Blue Book. About 67% of buyers use our products. So we're really, I would call us a software company.
Great. And just briefly, what are you using Management Cloud to manage?
So we're using Management Cloud right now to manage our eBiz environments, especially what we call for the automobile auctions. It's our cash register. That's where all the transactions are flowing through our system. And we're using OMC to be proactively monitoring all the transactions coming in from our legacy platforms, as well as using it for downstream integration.
Great. And one of the fun jobs I get is to get to know these folks, not just as customers, but as people too. So we learn a little bit about each other backstage. So Maria has an interesting family history. Maria, do you want to just share that with everybody?
Yeah, so fun fact. So my great-great-grandfather was the first Democratic president of Argentina. So
pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We have, like, they have the Austral, which is their bill, and he's, the dollar bill, if you will, of our country. So it's pretty exciting.
That's great. Well, thank you, Maria. Absolutely. Round of applause. Stephen, can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Sure. But first of all, good afternoon, Your Highness. Good afternoon. Before I introduce myself, I have a few words to say to my fellow panelists and the customers down here. Well, this theater looks really good. Looks so much better with live audience here. But you know what? Nowadays, it's not easy to be an Oracle customer. Really. We pay them for the excellent goods and services, products, and if you use it well, like five of us, knock on your door, just like this guy did, to me last week, and have you work on a stage for them. It's not easy. Thank you so much for having us here on a great setup and having people just to come over here and listen to our story. So my name is Stephen Chan. I'm a CIO of Kingo Group. So if you look at the big screen here, don't get me wrong, we're actually an Australian firm, despite the logo suggests, but we're based in Guangzhou, China. So Kingo Group was founded 30 years ago, and we started off in real estate, property developments, and just to give you a business reference here, our starting price is $5 million US for a 3-bedroom, 3,000 square feet, up to $30 billion US dollars, by the way. And they are not in Beijing, Shanghai, they are in Guangzhou. So, and over the past 20, 30 years, we also venture into different industries, so we're quite diversified. But as it's coming from the traditional business model and the industry, we're facing the new challenges in this digital new world. So over the past year, we're really aggressive on embracing the cloud technologies and all the digital transformations. So we're using Oracle Management Cloud. We've been using it for about a year. It went live in December last year in the capacity of application performance monitoring, infrastructure monitoring, and also log analytics. It now covers 95% of my Tier 1 and Tier 2 system. It basically just looks after the cloud for me.
Great. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Okay, Jacob.
Thank you, Dan. So I'm Jacob. I'm the CEO and founder of Optima. Optima is a company that was founded in 2012. And we are in the very, very competitive sports betting and e-gaming ecosystem industry. When we started servicing operators, we realized that in our industry, one of the key things is reliability, performance, security. And when we have systems that process around 6 billion transactions per year, you cannot really process anything with delay. You have to be real time. For that reason, and because we have transactions and also data warehousing and reporting in the same database, we use Oracle. We don't use Amazon. And really the key thing here...
We didn't pay you to say that. Very good.
And the key thing is that with the OCI services and with the management cloud tools, we really have transformed our organization, how we work, especially support, especially the actual delivery. And that really has allowed us to be much more competitive. And with those tools we have today, we have been able to reduce service SLAs and also to reduce the actual interaction between lines of support. So the lowest lines of support are doing much more with less effort. So we really can concentrate much more into adding value into the products rather than supporting the products. And also by using OCI, we have been able to scale out much faster and economically and really more dynamically the actual scalability of our platform, which is very important. We have very serious peak times, sometimes 25 times of the load increases suddenly, and then we must be able to react to those challenges. Without having a scalability that you can trigger and add more resources in a scaling out form, really you are unable to do this. So your costs, your CapEx and your OpEx goes absolutely high. With OCI, we have been able to reduce those. So we are much more competitive and giving much better service with Oracle Management Cloud and OCI services.
Great. Thank you, Jacob. And Prasanna.
Thanks, Dan, having me here. Okay, I'm come from Sri Lanka. I'm the CIO for the LOLC. I look after the financial sector. And LOLC is the largest conglomerate in Sri Lanka. Plus, we are the largest non-banking financial institute. We have expanded over 5 countries and 3 is in the line. So we have like very complicated environment. It's a core banking system, homegrown one for last 20 years. So it's very complicated, and there are multiple systems added into that, and the environment is, monitoring is very complicated. That's where the OCM came handy. Yeah, and on top of it, we are looking at unified platform where all the countries being put into this and monitor across the board. Our developers being able to manage this very proactively because of the early detection. Because it goes into the serverlet level, where our guys are able to manage the queries very efficiently. And our page load issue, there was a major issue on page load, where we managed to bring it down to 96% of efficiency.
96% improvement in page load?
Improvement, yeah.
Wow, great.
So, yeah, we can discuss more details.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm happy to share the OMC experience with the audience.
Wonderful. Thank you, Prasanna. And last but not least, Naushad from Anthem.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Naushad Bhamani. I work as a senior database administrator advisor at Anthem. Anthem is one of the nation's largest health benefit company, serving more than 73 million lives. My team provides database services to several applications at Anthem. We host everything on the Exadata private cloud. We have about 28 clusters, about 88 compute nodes that we support. And first we started collecting all the data ourselves manually using the scripts and we started plotting the graphs on the Excel. Then we started using Exceed. Excel would not keep up because of the amount of data. So we started using Tableau. We were not happy. The data was not real time. And also, it would not give us the clear picture of all the clusters. So then about 6 or 8 months back, we started using OMC Cloud. And since then, we are very happy. We are very happy, and it has reduced our workload a lot. I mean, we can focus on many important things now.
Wonderful. Great. That's wonderful to hear. So we're just going to explore some of what folks are doing and how this is impacting the business going forward. So I guess let's start with a conversation about transformation. In many of the conversations that I've had with you, we've talked about businesses are transforming, and IT operations, therefore, and security needs to transform along with the business transformation that you're going through, and OMC is helping you to get there. So maybe Maria, just for starters, if you want to talk a little bit about what you're observing at Cox Automotive.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going through a transformation into kind of the DevOps functionality. We're currently on the Oracle private cloud. working with Oracle Managed Service to kind of help manage that. But we're trying to transform. We're moving to Oracle Public Cloud, the OCI infrastructure, and using OMC. OMC is how I believe is going to be the glue about how we deliver, manage, and operate, our business. And so what we're also doing with OMC is putting it in our private cloud as well. So we are already putting that in production at the end of this year, so we can manage what we're doing with the auction operations. The transactions goes up very fast. We cannot be down, and Oracle Managed Cloud is going to help us. But like I said, it's going to help us as we move, and like I was saying, it's not a lift and shift, it's a lift and transform.
Absolutely, great. And Stephen, you've also had a lot to say on the subject of transformation.
Sure. We started using Oracle's technology last year to transform, like you said, and re-architect our IT operation and backbone from traditional legacy system like 3 tiers to a cloud architecture in the capacity of suite of cloud customers. So we have 2 Oracle cloud machines, 1 Exadata cloud machine, and 1 big data cloud machine. And they're doing a fantastic job right now. When we were doing that, we thought that maybe we'll just use OMC to look after the cloud machines. But we at the time, we did have the, out of respect for the vendor, I don't want to name the name, but we had an excellent and also proven technology as well, the management tool. But as we learned of OMC and we started using it in December last year, and we realized that over the 3 years of TCO, it was reduced by 23%. But if you look at that, it's not, a dollar is a dollar. It's not so much in terms of cost savings. But if you look what's behind it, it's a paradigm shift, right? You're going from on-prem in terms of management tools to a cloud-based. So it's totally, absolutely aligned with our cloud strategy here. And obviously, we don't have to bother with the chores of provisioning resources for management tools, and not to mention like 3 years later, when the life cycle ends, you got to think about upgrading the new management tools. It's important, but it's definitely not a priority. And in terms of the OMC's capability, it's been absolutely tremendous. Like I said, we use APMs and IMs and also log analytics. We have, on our daily operations, my team of engineers, they have 12 inspection dashboards in front of their computers. And the OMC would do the automatic inspection for them. 3 minutes, and that's it. Before, they have to spend 30 minutes per system. We have 18 systems, 18 systems looked after by OMC. So you look at the effort saved. And also, it helps us tremendously on troubleshooting with the log analytics, because it classes all the logs, and it zeroes in and pinpoints where the problem or potential issues might be. If we were lucky before OMC, it would take us about really 3 days, if we were lucky, without to zero in the problems. But now it's really just a matter of an hour or less.
Great.
So that is transformation itself. And not to mention, my engineers are so much happier with OMC. That is
happier. The management tools made the engineers happier. Isn't
That's
that
important.
Great?
That's very important.
So speaking of engineers, we talk a lot about the term shift left, where we try to take operational telemetry and best practices and move them upstream so we can prevent outages instead of just firefighting the outages, look forward instead of backwards. I know for some of you, you've been able to use Management Cloud to try to essentially prevent those outages on an ongoing basis. Prasanna, maybe just start with you on that subject. What are you guys doing over at LLC in that area?
Yeah, because our company, our organization has 300 branches in Sri Lanka itself, and where the receipting and the customer transactions are super high. We process about 20,000 queries per second in our databases. So, in the event of one query unutilized query get stuck, so our entire business gets impacted. So one of these, very recently it happened, and all of a sudden our guy said, okay, this query, your unutilized, inefficiency is 98%. So we should be able, we were able to fix that query, and there you go, business
so
is
it's
up
a
and
code
running.
level fix done in development.
Because it shows you the serverlet level, the efficiency. And on top of it, we provide 100 plus services to 100 plus companies. Like we have 100 plus subsidiaries in Sri Lanka itself. And especially on the chargeback rates, earlier it was flat, okay. Now we go into the process level, okay, this is the utilization of your process memory. So we are in process of developing exact amount of chargeback rate for the companies, where it very efficient for the other companies, because otherwise it will we have smaller companies which they are not able to afford the cost.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you're able to do is leverage that telemetry both to sort of move the diagnostics upstream into development, and then also to have an intelligent conversation with all of the consumers of this at the edge, which sounds actually very similar now, Shad, to what you guys are doing with your shared service Exadata environment.
That is true. So when we look at the cluster, this tool provides us that we can look from a very high level, and we can look at what the resources are being used. Is everything looking normal? Not only that, suddenly a database will pop up with the red color flashing, saying that, hey, this is a problematic one. So you just click on that, go drill down to the SQL level, as you mentioned, and solve the problem. So it's basically become a one-stop shop for us, and I'm very happy with it.
Great. Yeah, in a shared services environment where we've got limited infrastructure and so many consumers, this winds up being a really big deal. Jacob, you have a similar but different issue since your software is deployed down at the customer sites, right? So you have to support those remotely, even from your central view and your central console. How are you using OMC in that regard?
Right. So just to be a bit of context, with the omni-channel capacities and applications that are very usual today and that are the trend in the market and really useful for our customers, we have to support retail. And retailers sometimes have their own databases, and even one operator may have, for example, one comes to my head, 1,800 databases. And we have to synchronize all of them in real time, and not only in one way, two ways. So we have proprietary protocol that synchronizes the databases in real time, and you cannot have delays on the data because then customers become very angry. When prices for the betting are not accurate, when they are not in real time, really the product is gone. The product is obsolete if it is not arrived in the same second that it's produced. So we are talking about many cycles of processing that have to happen sub-seconds. So in order to keep this ecosystem under control, we have to be monitoring in real time. And monitoring in real time means that you have to monitor a load of more than 100,000 operations per second in the same ecosystem, and then distribute all those operations across to 1,800 outlets. When we were doing this without the log analytics, management cloud, it was really challenging because when you start having a challenge, you see them propagating across so many outlets. Mm-hmm. So you have to be using predictive analytics in order to identify what's going to happen in the next minute, and then address the challenge before it will propagate. Without this, we invested hours and hours and hours and days of a team of 24 persons recovering just a network outage. That was nothing to do with our application. It's really infrastructure. It's really an ISP that really changed the routing and then started going slow, and then the information was queuing up. Then to recover that situation, we had to recover individually, maybe all those databases and synchronize again, et cetera. So our cost was absolutely huge. By being able to anticipate now, we are reducing our cost for support absolutely massively. But most important is that we prevent our customer to have obsolete data in the shops, not to have the risk information back in the headquarters, which allows the trading team to really take decisions about how much they are going to be risking in this or that event. So really, it's a shift. It's a transformation in how we work internally, but also what our product is capable of doing. I mean, increasing the availability, increasing the rate of success in transactions that before was not possible by using the prediction of what's going on in the system.
Sure.
Very important.
Well, that's great. And actually, you touched on a subject that I wanted to make sure that we all discussed, because machine learning, Prakash talked about it earlier, it's been discussed in every keynote that most folks in the room would have seen, right? Is something that a lot of people are talking about in the industry. And there's a lot of magic and a lot of noise about what machine learning is and what machine learning isn't. As people in this room know, OMC was designed from the ground up to use machine learning. It is a learning system by design. And while that sounds great and is easy to say, most important is what you do with it. And how you leverage that. So I know a number of you have opinions on that. Maybe, Stephen, if you want to start with what you're doing with machine learning and OMC.
Sure. Let me give a little bit of context as well. Like I said, we started using OMC Symbol last year, but initially it was just trying it out a little bit. So we started with 2 APMs, that's application performance monitoring, and 100 entities from the IMs, and 300 gigabyte of log analytics. And I knew it's got machine learning. So after we deployed on our systems, I'm kind of a little bit embarrassed to say that, it started to learn, and it identified close to 600 potential issues. I didn't know how I sleep so well at night.
You actually have software with bugs in it?
Yes, of course. But here's a beautiful part. It helped us later on, and helped us and guided us to solve 95% of it.
Okay.
It could have been done with our previous solutions.
So
I think that is the beauty of it.
So you're able to sort of very quickly have it iterate through all that data and tell you what to care
and tell
about.
us what to do, and tell us, kind of like, give us heads up what's going on here, with the similarities, be able to compare it. Yeah, so it was a little bit embarrassing to tell the story about that. That's
okay.
actually quite true,
Especially on the predictive analysis on the resource utilization.
That's right.
Which is very useful because it tells you exactly your utilization and when it's expiring, where you should take the action, and the anomaly detection.
So you're looking at history, trying to understand what might be coming, so that you can take action now instead of tomorrow.
Yeah. So
Also, it has a built-in algorithm, so it'll look at your growth trend of the storage, and it'll forecast for you for the future, and it'll tell you, next 6 months, you need to order hardware.
And so that's going to help you prevent your one line of business really stepping on other lines of business and manage that shared estate. That's great. That's what we hope, right? That is when machine learning gets very powerful, when it actually can essentially take that human brain power, those analytics that we'd like to be able to do, and really get leveraged in a practical way, right? Help you prevent a problem instead of just reacting to that problem.
Dan.
Yes.
Announcements? Can I do an announcement here?
Announcement, sure. Okay.
Announcement, right? Okay. So what we are doing with machine learning and artificial intelligence is quite interesting, and it's beyond what our product is doing. What we're trying to do now is to change social aspect of gaming. We all are very worried about problem gambling, which is something that really is causing big cost to the governments. What we are trying to do is not to learn what somebody already has a problem with gambling. What we are trying to find now is a trigger that makes them problem gamblers. So by using artificial intelligence, we are trying to bring down the analysis to the point that what is making a person having an addiction to be developed, and then avoid that path. Really take that person to keep consuming the actual products, the actual gaming, the actual betting, but do in a way that is safe for themselves. So this, which is very advanced progress right now, we are going to be able to extrapolate the information from all the operators that use our platform, which are lots, and together with all that information, define the actual mechanisms to avoid the actual offerings that make them damage themselves.
And the data for this analysis is in the logs that you're analyzing with log analytics and some of the behavior that users are doing in the stores?
That is that, and also with inside the actual transaction flows, etc.
Wonderful.
So it's quite powerful and really requires a lot of processing, and obviously you cannot do this just with pattern recognition. You have to do really artificial intelligence processing and reviewing the information that's flowing.
So machine learning is not just Skynet. It can actually be put to good use and help people, which is good. That's great. Now, there's a lot of conversations about Management Cloud where it's natural for customers to assume that we're very Oracle-centric. And obviously, most of you started using Management Cloud against Oracle workloads. But I know a lot of you are using Management Cloud for heterogeneous environments. So Maria, maybe you could describe a little bit about what you're doing in the non-Oracle arena as well as the Oracle arena.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go back to our cash register for the Mannheim auctions. We have legacy platforms that's really integrating with all the transactions flowing into our Oracle systems. But we now can use OMC to help determine what queues and what they're doing and let that transaction flow. One thing that we did, because we have so many legacy platforms, is we made every technology team member create put some parameters in their logging so we could keep track of transaction. So that transaction is going from the legacy platform into Oracle, and then it also goes into downstream systems. But we could do all of that now with OMC. And not only that, but if we run into issues, we're also integrating with our ServiceNow for incident management, and also with Slack and other tools that we're using across the enterprise.
Great. And Stephen, I know you're also widely heterogeneous.
Sure, that's correct. Initially, our expectation for OMC was just to look after the cloud customers, but it did such a tremendous good job, so we thought that we might just try to use it on Microsoft domains, the estates. So in particular, there's an ERP system in the front end, it's Java, and the middleware is the WebLogic, the back end is SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server. And OMC was doing such a great job, it actually helped us to identify 216 potential issues, and also help us to solve 3 critical issues before it impacts services. And at the same time, reduce the average loading time by 64%. So as I said it before, we started using it on Oracle Estate, and it did a great job, and we tried it on Microsoft, it worked so well, so we increased our usage by 3-fold. So in April this year, we purchased additional 200 entities of IAMs, additional 16 of APMs, and now, like I said, OMC covers 95% of Kingo's Tier 1 and Tier 2 application systems, 18 of them, and it consists of 102 servers and 31 databases. And guess what? Only 6 out of 31 are Oracles.
Great, great. So we see sort of a heterogeneous use case. We've got a variety of industry verticals, from financial services to gaming to automotive ecosystem, right? So there's a whole bunch of different ways to use Management Cloud, but you sense some themes emerging, right? We see a lot about getting in front of problems. We see a lot about making employees happier, which is great. Removing effort from the system, right? And Naushad, I remember we spoke about some of the reports that you needed to provide, utilization reports back to the business about your shared service that you can do a lot faster now. Is that correct?
That's true. Yep. I agree to that, yeah. And not only that, I think I wanted to take one more step further from what we are doing right now. We have one of the critical applications, very critical, and the team is technically very good. They understand the database and AWR and all that. So I'm planning to give the dashboard control to them for their application.
Okay.
And let them manage. They know how to tune their database.
Self-service communication.
Yeah, so that gives us time to do more of our.
That goes to zero effort at that point.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So we're going to run out of time soon, but I wanted to ask one more question. We are at Oracle OpenWorld. Autonomous database, big subject that lots of people are talking about. I'm just curious, maybe if each of you could talk about sort of your reaction to that, and as you think about your future, both with OMC and with Oracle and the autonomous database, are you excited about what's coming? So Maria, maybe start with you.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the autonomous database. You know, we're going to be watching it closely, and as everything gets certified on it, we'll definitely move to the autonomous database.
Great.
Sure. Let me tell you a story, Dan. When I bear with me, guys.
He's a pro.
Yeah. So when I took over the IT portfolio in Kingo 3 years ago in 2015 on April Fool's Day. Yeah, but it was good to get something real on April Fool's Day. I started without a DBA. There was no DBA at all. But look, you know, I only got 31 critical databases. If you are an aspiring DBA, would you come work for me? Definitely wouldn't, right? So fast forward till now. Not only I'm doing well because of Oracle Cloud Customer, I survived. To give you one very good example, we're using Exadata Cloud Customers, and it's doing so good. We lift and shift one of our financial systems into it, and the performance gain was incredible. We managed to reduce one of the mission-critical report, a job, from 12 minutes to 41 seconds without any code-based amendment and without any database tuning. So I don't think I need a DBA right now, but don't get me wrong, I still need a DBA skill set. So that's where the autonomous will be kicking in. I think you guys are absolutely doing a great job here, especially this is kind of like, database is kind of like Oracle's crown jewel, and you guys are applying the right technology into it, because if you look at it, this is where our civilization is. We're really cloud-based. And going forward, I don't have a timeline, but we'll know for sure it'll be AI-driven. So between now and then, what's in the middle? Autonomous for sure. Autonomous everything. So you guys are definitely doing the right thing. But before you get to autonomous, you got to be cloud-based.
Right? Jacob, how about you?
Thank you.
What's the future hold for you with autonomous and
Wow.
management?
Okay. So we already embraced bare metal. When it was out, we started using it immediately because we saw all the benefits of isolating customers, running all our applications. We are serverless as well, I've mentioned. Now we have to control the loads, scale out, decrease capacity to save money. And next is autonomous. And autonomous is not only about the automatic tuning of the database or the no DBA required, et cetera, and adding more value. Our requirements are to deploy very quickly, to react to challenges in the market very quickly. We need the system not to go down. Our SLA at this moment, our uptime is 99.999. There is nobody else in the industry that does this except us.
Sure.
And this is by using different technologies, high availability, et cetera. So autonomous database will guarantee us we don't have to patch, we don't have to get downtime, we don't have to worry about when we are deploying code in database, that code will require shutting down database. So for us, embracing autonomous will, again, make our product better.
Sure.
We'll be adding a further value, and our competitors are going to be down in shit. So basically, it's a key for us to get autonomous database in.
Great, great. Prasanth, anything you want to add on that?
Interestingly, we are revamping and replatforming our core banking system, which is cloud-native, containerized, in-memory system, and onto microservice level. And we are putting into the cloud where all other countries, because we want to centralize operation to be deployed on all the countries. Interestingly, Oracle is regional office is behind us, and they are helping and resourcing this project. And this will be the, we are trying to get the first cloud-native core banking product, which is mobile-enabled, data-enabled, which fintech, because now the financial sector is becoming very challenging especially on the fintech arena, because digital lending is coming up and everything is you don't need to go to the branch. So, meet with these challenges, we are re-platforming our entire core banking system. And
so you're in the midst of this big technology shift right now.
Oh yeah, it's going to be extremely, we trying to get the most viable product within 8 months.
All right.
So hopefully we are very optimistic about this, and this will be the one of the core products for us.
And so now, Shad, just to finish up on the database side, are you excited about what's coming with respect to autonomy?
I am. So being last, I think these guys stole all my ideas. So I'm going to sound
You can just say yes.
So I think there are certain things that I still like about the autonomous. There's zero downtime.
Yep.
It's a self-tuning, self-indexing database. That's where the future is. You'll need less DBAs. And
so as Prakash mentioned, right, in Management Cloud, we're looking at autonomous both as an opportunity to help you move those workloads in there and then to tune all the things around that platform so that you can maximize your availability. We're very excited about it too. So can we take a moment to thank our panelists for joining us? It's really great to have you all very much. And we're going to have Prakash come on up and wrap us up.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you all. I never thought a management keynote would be this entertaining, but
all right, go ahead, guys.
Thank you very much.
So I want to quickly wrap up. In the team of customers, we had a Cloud Platform Innovation Awards yesterday. We had 60+ customers of Management Cloud who were nominated. I want to give a shout out to them and also to the winners and the finalists. So if you see any of these customers, please congratulate them. These are people who are using Management Cloud fairly extensively before they can get nominated for this awards. Lastly, if you have partners that you work with, chances are they've already been trained in Management Cloud. But if they have not been trained, please make sure that they come to us and get themselves trained. It's a fairly straightforward process for them to get trained, but we also have free content for them, so it's a pretty straightforward exercise. Please have your partners that you engage with come and get themselves trained. And lastly, we have been engaged with analysts as well, and this is one of the recent reports that came out from OVM, who are recognizing the fact that we are one of the true cloud vendors who have a multi-cloud, heterogeneous, integrated suite of services. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the panel. Thank you.